Yo, what's good, YouTube? Y'all already know who it is. Oops, one up in the building. What's up? Alright, cool. So in this little video, we're gonna show how to do like simple, I guess, to me it's called bombing, but a lot of people be like, oh, that's a wild style. So I had this guy named Trix hit me up and did a couple sketches for him and stuff like that. I did this one, and then I did this one for him a little bit better in ink. So what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to go through a couple of letters, see how much time we have, and we're just going to sketch them out so you guys can see how easy it is to basically get your letter structure. All right, Marty, tell me when it's 8 minutes from now. All right. So what you want to do here first and foremost, you basically gotta have your pencil and a little sketch pad, right? So what we're gonna start with is a simple A. All right. Now you might be like, okay, well, it seems easy that you're doing it, but yeah, look, see, that's what I started with, right? Basically, all of this is just one line, a little line, bam, done. So then I do that to signify the one leg of it and then the other one right there, right? So what I'm gonna have to do now is just basically bold it out. That's all I'm doing. Now if you see, I connected that point with this point. It's very important that you keep your letter structure crisp and clean, right? So then you come back. Nah, I'm not gonna move it. So if I was to leave it like this, it's a big gap. If I bring it in, it's gonna narrow it out, right? So you want to go somewhere like towards the middle, right? And you can bring it back however you want. And then if you feel this one needs to be out this way more, then bring it out this way. Connect to the bottom line where you're at right there, as well as when you go up, connecting to this line here, right? It's simple, it's easy, it's just pretty much getting it there, right? So that's pretty much it. That's how you want to do your letter structure. Now you can also add like little cuts like here, just basically a rectangle, an extended rectangle, as you can see right there. That's really all you're doing, right? So here we have our A. Then if you want to do like a B, the same concept goes to it. You basically go and make yourself like a 3, right? Then you come back and you put your little style to it. Now I don't know how creative you guys are with your lettering, so I want to keep this simple, clean, and crisp, right? So that's all I'm doing to this. Just keeping it clean and crisp, right? So that's all we did. So you just have it here, bring it back, bam, up, back down. Make sure this connects through, right? As well, when you go upwards, if you're coming out on this point, this has to follow through right here, as well as here, right? And as well as here. So that way it gives you that effect that even though it's crossing through, you're able to see it. Because once you have it, everything outlined and everything, I'm going to erase this line just so you guys can see them better. Right? And then that's basically what you're left with. You're left with the clean structure and making proper sense to an extent of where you want it and how you want your lettering. Which, in time that I've been writing, this is really like the best way to do it, okay? Everyone just wants to outline it and give you like the heads up of how it comes out. That's fine, but in able for you to get something crisp like this, you have to start by doing stuff like this, which is just a basic sketch. Once you have that basic sketch, once you start doing it, trust me, it's gonna be super easy for the rest. The rest is just gonna come to you. You're gonna be able to add, you're gonna be able to take, you're gonna be able to do so much with it. It's going to be ridiculous. So once you have that, you basically have yourself your A, your B, and then if you want to keep going, just turn this around. I'm going to keep going right here till the time runs of what we got. You're going to turn around and you're going to do your C. All right? Now for your C, you see how I did that right there? I brought it down, kept it to this point, and then I just swirled it down. Now the reason I swirled it down because I want to give it some more of a better look and a crazier look. Now you see the C is there, right? So all you're really gonna do is just bulk it out. So you do practically all you're doing is like a rectangle. Look, I'm just gonna basically do rectangles on this one, so you guys can see how it is that it's so simple. If you can't do 3 or 4 rectangles, then you know that's just, to me it just seems like you're in the wrong, you're looking at it the wrong way. You know, the perspective they're giving you in different tutorials, I've seen them, they're really good, but I know that sometimes people don't understand that. So that's all you're really doing. You see, 1 rectangle, 2 rectangles, and 3 rectangles. See, the 4th one is optional, which is this one. And once you have that, you can go ahead and do what you were doing with the other one, which was giving it a little bit of a curl here, and another one here. Right? And then if you want to, you can even come around and just connect both of them with that little swirl there. And then that gives you the effect of a complete C, which is what you want to get. Because you don't want to have... Hey, you see me recording?
¿Qué?
Estoy grabando. So basically, you know, my bad. It's my mom's walking over here talking about some craziness. So you basically have that going like that, and you get yourself the letter structure you want. So the same thing we're going to do with the D. You know, you basically, with the D's, a lot of people have trouble with the D's. I don't understand why. They're so simple, and you have so much things to play with. You basically do like an A, right? That's how you're going to start. And then from your A, you're going to cut back right here and do your triangles. You know, and basically you start them in an angle, whatever, however you want to do it. But you just, that's all you're doing. You're not doing nothing fancy, nothing crazy. That's all you're doing. So, once again, you add your little twist to them to give it that more graffiti-oriented look. And you keep going with it as such. And as you keep going like this, you're going to come across a lot of different things where you're like, oh man, you know what? I like that D, but I think it's better if I threw like an arrow here, or if I throw like a swirl. So you can always do like just little swirls on top, right? And then you basically all you're doing is just like kind of like just putting your own effect to it, right? So let's say you wanted to start your swirl here. You erase that part so you can leave that to be the beginning of your, which is like a splash of some sort or something. But you got to keep in mind, keep this line so it looks like it's in the back. And just slightly keep a little bit of a gap in between. So it gives it that look that the D is still there, but at the same time, you have this line coming up, coming out of it. Yeah, and then it just gives it a better and a little bit crazier look. It just changes up your style from going from a mid style to like a bomber to more of a wild style. You know, so we're going to keep going with this. We can see D. So we're going to go with the E now. Now the E, I have so many ways of doing an E, but the most simplest one is basically just like that, right? Now you might say like, well, that's cool, bro, but I don't see it. Okay, well, what you do here is you basically do your triangles again, right? Now the reason you're doing your triangles is because you're gonna use just the edges of that E to give you where to start and where to go with it. That's all you're really using from that one, right? And there you have your E. Now, you might say like, well, that looks cool, but I think that looks pretty simple. Well, the point here is to show you in perspective of the easiest way. You can always get super creative and do something crazy with it by adding more to your lettering, like I said before, right? Just like I said, just keep in fact that everything has to kind of connect. If you do this one thinner, it doesn't matter. If it's bigger, thinner, smaller, bigger, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you keep the concept going of what you want to do. Now, from this point, you want to have yourself somewhat of a clean and legible E going here, right? So at the same time as I'm adding little cuts here and there and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you have a concept of what you want at the end. Like me here, I knew that E was there in my head, so I kept going with it. So that concludes the how-to of letter sketching for this one right here. And we're going to come back and we're going to do another one, which is going to be the continuing letters from here.